Well, good evening, Truck and Tractor Pool fans. It's just another fun Wednesday. Mr. Duante Beast, how are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
The official, now an official Pro Pulling League certified tech inspector you are.
Now the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. We got some people coming on with us tonight. We hope everybody's doing well. We didn't get in here last week. Sorry about that. It happens. It's busy. Pulling season's right around the corner. So we got supposedly we're going to have, I'm not sure if Kendra's going to make it in or not. She's had some family things come up and we wish them all the best. She is going to try to come in tonight, but I told her family first, do what you got to do. So hopefully we'll see Klub Kendra. Nicole Morrison is going to come on and update us with some antique news going on here locally with, I believe, Fawn Grove. I don't know if she's got anything further on Mason-Dixon or not in Delta. Jason Forrester, I talked to him. Speaking of the devil, Jason's ready to rock. I told him 8:30. He's ready to go, man. He's on it. Hold on, buddy. Welcome, Jason. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. I didn't know you said 8:30. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No. Hey, that gives me and Dwayne a break.
Join the party. Come on. We're having fun here.
Party.
Let's go.
Party. But anyway, I was getting ready to say, I was just trying to say that you were coming on. And Keystone Nationals is 1 week away, man. 1 week away for year number 18, I believe. 17 or 18. I can't remember.
2007.
We started planning in 07. Our first pool was in 08. I do know that. So
yeah, 2008. So whatever that is.
You did a man. 16 years, 17 years, something like that. Anyway, well, Jason, we got you on here, man. How you been?
Really good. Busy. We've been working on getting all these tractors ready, and it's the normal grind, and trying to do your normal thing. So yeah, in the evenings we've been working on tractors here for the last couple of weeks, and engines and whatever else.
Cool deal. Yeah, how many tractors you got in the fleet going this year?
So this year, Pop Smurf will be there, of course, pulling on Friday night. Bleeding Blue will be pulling Saturday in the Mod Turbo class. We have Bull Ride here, which we just put a different set of gears in it. We were at the top of the gear stack during the season last year, and we wanted to put something a little faster in there. Probably won't need it at Keystone, but they're in there for the season. So BJ will be pulling Saturday. Colby will be pulling Stitch in the Pro Farm class on Saturday. Sue will be pulling Iron Maiden. I didn't look at the list to see if she's Thursday or Saturday. And then our new addition this year is Macy Kiskadden, which is Scott's oldest daughter. Mm-hmm. We'd built a tractor probably at least 10 years ago for a guy in Florida. And their class kind of fizzled out down there. And he's been after me for years to buy the 8-up truck, our 2-wheel drive truck.
Uh-oh.
So he called me. He's like, "Hey, you want to sell that truck?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, man." I said, "I'm not sure." I said, what do you got?" He's like, I want to do a trade. I want to trade the tractor you built me for that truck. So I thought about it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, this is perfect because Macy she's ready to go. In fact, she pulled it down there in Florida and did an awesome job. But I'm like, hey, why not? Let's trade the truck. The 8-up truck was pretty fun. It's an awesome thing. Mm-hmm. But we're kind of tractor people. And having time to build another whole tractor probably wasn't going to happen for the season. So I felt like this would be the best way to get her in the seat. So we did the trade. Cool, so she'll be pulling Saturday on her New Holland 8010, which was previously known as Stretch to the Limit. Mm-hmm. That name, originally when we named it, it was Stretch, and then he put Stretch to the Limit because of the work he did. So I don't know if she's going to keep it as Stretch or if she's going to rename it. Every night she comes to the shop, she's like, what name do you think we ought to name this tractor? So we've been throwing around a lot of ideas, but really haven't come up with what she's going to name it yet. So, so she's been working hard at polishing this tractor. I'm talking like taking the wheels off and polishing the inside. I mean, who does that?
Wow. Detail.
This thing is going to be one clean unit. I will guarantee it. So
Gonna win the show and shine.
she's gonna win something, man. I'm telling you, she's putting the effort in at least.
Well,
So
what I see is effort, and interest. Getting new younger blood into the sport like that and showing that much interest. It wouldn't be, taking the initiation to do something like that. That's great.
well, I think that is a big part of. I mean, Keystone in general is just that.
Mm-hmm.
Keystone is for all of us pullers that pull here in the interstate and the surrounding clubs that are more of your grassroots.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get a tractor out here and soup it up and go pulling, which has evolved into some pretty nice equipment over the years. But we still have to remember that we are still the working class that are tractor pulling, and yeah, we need more interest in tractor pulling and people to come in and help these classes survive. We've got guys that's been pulling in these classes for 30 years now, which is great. They started when they were young. And hey, they were probably got 20 or 30 more years to pull yet, but we encourage anyone to come pull. And with Macy coming in, 16-year-old girl, she's probably going to get a fair amount of attention, and hopefully she gets a fair amount of competition from these boys that, that want to enter into the sport, so I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Male or female at that age, absolutely.
Yep.
Get them in the sport. That's great. Of course, not that there was any family influence there or anything.
No, and the thing about it was Macy is an athlete. She's a star softball player, volleyball player. Like, she is an athlete. And the funny thing is, she parked all that stuff to go tractor pulling.
That's awesome.
She's not doing the softball or volleyball. She just wants to tractor pull. And I find it hard to believe that she's that into it, that she just wants to tractor pull. But I'm telling you, she is here every day after school. The only reason why she's not here tonight at the shop, she had some report to do, but it's pretty cool that she's
absolutely
that much into this tractor pulling thing. And it is a lot of fun. People always talk about, when you read the message boards, they're always saying, oh, how great pulling people are and how great the competitors are, and they have a family. Yeah. It is true.
Yes.
And it's like for us here at our shop, I mean, I work with my brothers every day, and there's days that they don't even know what I'm doing. They don't know. Right. I don't know what they're doing. But when we go to the pulling shop, we're all working together, so it's a good thing to have that stuff. And she's learned that real quick, that, hey, the guys over there working, everyone's there. We're having a good time. And it's not just about working on pulling tractors. That's the goal, but it turns out to be a lot of fun in the meantime.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of families. I think it grows the family stronger, keeps them together better. Personally, I mean, there's been a couple incidences, unfortunately, where people couldn't get along and it fell apart. But for the most part, mostly, I think it brings the family together closer. Really, something everybody can get involved with. There's something in a sport for everybody, I think. Really.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not just being running a tractor either.
Right.
We got some boys showing up over here at the shop that haven't pulled, but they're interested in helping us work on them. They're interested in working a Keystone, maybe hooking the tractors up, maybe unhooking, driving a scraper tractor, roller tractor. There's a lot of ways to get into tractor pulling without spending any money. Mm-hmm. And you can find yourself, possibly on a team that has multiple tractors and find yourself in the seat of a thing and not have to spend $1. It happens.
Right. All I wanted to do was meet and talk to a few of the pullers early on. I said, I'll take a video camera and start filming this stuff. It's pretty cool, Yeah, boy, that blew up.
Yeah. Now look at you.
Awesome. It's awesome. I love it, man. Yeah. I love it.
I was going to go back to what you said earlier. How can a two-wheel drive 8-up truck be much different from a tractor? It's a rear-wheel drive.
Yeah. Well, good question. So everyone always asked, well, what do you think about the two-wheel drive truck? And when we put 8-up together, it had a 401 cubic inch engine with basically a Pro Farm turbo on and a P pump. Never dynoed it, but I'm guessing makes somewhere around 1,100 horsepower, which this light limited tractor would probably be very similar to that. And what I noticed about the two-wheel drive truck after driving tractors my whole career, the two-wheel drive truck, since you're sitting forward of the rear tires quite a bit more, gives you a complete different sense of, I'm going to say, control. When you're on your tractor and you're sitting on the rear axle and the front end comes up, you feel like you're in complete control at all times. In that two-wheel drive truck, when the front end comes up, and it usually happens at the end, like you literally can't see squat out the front.
Right.
So what you're looking at is you look down along the side of the frame and you're looking at the track at this point. So it gives you a complete different perspective on pulling. And the other thing about a two-wheel drive truck, it's kind of rough. It can be kind of a rough ride because with that 30-inch drawbar, it has that much pulling power. And at the end of the run, when you're spinning out and you let off of it, it like springs you back toward the sled like you can't imagine. Completely different feeling than what the tractor gives you.
Tires are all wrapped up, and then that unloads when you go off the clutch.
That thing really recoils back. It's kind of unbelievable. And I even said to, Scott, we talked about, well, maybe we'll just put the girls, I have a couple daughters too that might be interested in pulling. And I thought, well, maybe we'll just put them in a two-wheel drive truck. But I was like, I'd rather have them on a tractor. The tractor seems a lot safer to me than a two-wheel drive truck. Just how it throws you around. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. I wouldn't do another one because we had fun building it. But for right now, I guess we'll concentrate on the tractors.
Yeah, I flagged two-wheel drive the last 2 years at a couple of pulls, and I'm telling you, they come down there, and when the front end drops down, you almost got to get it in your hands and knees to look inside the cab. They sit so low. And when they come down the track, you're not sure what they're actually watching to try to keep it in bounds because they got to look down past their feet in order to see where they're going.
Oh, it's crazy. And, the other thing about the two-wheel drive truck, when you get that thing hooked up and going, I'm telling you what, I know that you're only going the same speed as what you are on a tractor, but because you're sitting in that cab, I think, and it's so loud inside that cab, you put your helmet on, even the diesel, I can't imagine what a blower truck would be like.
Oh my
goodness. It is so incredibly loud that it just gives you a completely different perspective driving. Completely.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, with that said, how's Keystone looking, Jason?
So Keystone actually is looking pretty good this year. We made a lot of changes to the lineups, only because last year the pool went so long. And I think everyone that was there would agree that something had to be done. So things that we changed this year, we moved the garden tractors down to the large arena, the New Holland Arena. And by doing that, that kind of freed up our Thursday and our Friday. So what we would always run into is the garden tractor show keeps growing, and he would get closer and closer and closer to 5 o'clock when we need to be getting the track ready to start the evening show. And that kind of hurt us a little bit because we couldn't quite get started at 5:30.
Right.
So by moving them down there, it gives them all the room they need. And now they don't have a deadline to get started, even though he's going to work hard at getting done by 5, just like normal. But that'll give us a chance to have the track ready, have the lines down, that we can actually get started right at 5:30, which should make a pretty big difference on the end.
A lot less stress.
Yeah, it'd be a lot less stress. Hook wise per session, I think we're floating in there at that 65, 70 hooks for every session, depending. Some of them might be 60, 61, but in that area. Last year, Thursday night, which a lot of people probably forgot or didn't forget, we had 101 hooks.
Yeah.
And
Thursday's always been the big hook night.
Yeah.
Most hooks, yeah.
So the problem with the 101 hooks, which was great, the only problem is you just can't get we didn't have real good rhythm. The track crew last year did an awesome job for everybody. And when you do a super job every single time, it takes time. We just couldn't really get a good flow. And then we had all those hooks. And the whole weekend, we just were out of time the whole entire weekend. So we had to cut a few classes for this year, which is always tough to do. You never want to cut a class.
Right.
Because these guys have been supporting Keystone for years and years and years. And the first chance we can, we want to try to, if we can make it work with having another session during the day, we're going to try that this year, a Friday afternoon session. But we would like to bring back some of them classes that we had to cut. The other thing about Keystone is we try to mix classes, and that works okay. We tried that. What happens in rules in different areas, they change their rules to allow maybe a bigger turbo or a different injection pump. That kind of happened in our hot farm class, and our interstate hot farm tractors have a box turbo with an A pump. And we were running a hot farm class from New York, which are a bunch of great guys and good pullers. They changed their rules, and they're allowed to run basically any 3-inch turbo and a P pump, and there's just no comparison. So we tried 1,000 pounds difference in weight, wasn't enough to make a difference. Mm-hmm. So we had to cut out those guys, and we cut out a 4-wheel drive truck class. And by doing this, we kind of set the numbers at 12 and 24. We ended up taking anyone that was on the waiting list. We ended up taking them anyhow, up to 15 per class. And if they got more than 15, we went ahead and split them, which worked out really good. The mini rods, we were always running around, 15 to 18 small block mini rods previously, and usually around 10 big blocks. But we implemented a new sign-up procedure this year on the computer. And by doing that, basically you could regulate how fast they came in, and everyone got a draw number right off the bat, which was kind of nice. JR had us spoiled with everything that you did on your part of the Keystone bit. With, JR, for the guys that didn't know, JR took care of drawing all the numbers, and he took care of any complaints that people had, puller complaints, concerns.
Pullers don't complain.
Yeah.
No.
Well, maybe I should say not complaints, but maybe inquiries about different things about the pool. And we didn't really have that person per se, like JR did it. So that's why we did the computer system that we'd already implemented that the year before to have the sign up go through the computer. This year it was just tuned up a little bit better, which worked really well. The minis, I kid you not, we had our 12 entries in 4 minutes.
Holy smokes.
I believe it.
And from those 12 entries, what happens on the backside, the general public would only see those 12 hooks, okay? But you had an option to get on a waiting list. And the waiting list would say, hey, do you want to get on the waiting list? If someone drops out, you'll be the first one in. Well, in the small block class, we had 18 tractors on the waiting list. If you can imagine that.
18.
12
wow.
for the class, 18 on the waiting list.
Wow.
So we're like, wow, this is crazy. And these guys signed up like boom, 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 boom.
Mm.
So the big block class filled up their 12, and they had guys waiting, on the waiting list also. So after a lot of talking and negotiating, we decided to put the minis on Friday as a noon start session, just to try out to see how the double session would work. And this would give a chance for all the minis to pull.
Mm-hmm.
If we did not do it this way, we simply wouldn't have been able to pull all those tractors.
Right.
And, you know, Keystone has always been about trying to let everyone pull. You know, I don't know, JR, if we've ever turned away anyone, have we? I mean,
very rarely. Very rarely.
There would have been a very rare, for instance, that anyone would have got turned away.
Yeah.
There, and we didn't want to start that this year, even though we were cutting things back. Obviously, we did have to turn away a couple of the classes,
right?
But not since we offered it. We try not to turn the people away.
Right.
So that's how the Friday noon session got born, and I'm pretty excited about it because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. First off, it takes the pressure completely off the whole deal. You know, normally we run the minis on Thursday night and try to, you know, hustle through 2 heats of the small block and 1 heat of the big block. Of course, with 101 hooks, you're pushing hard all the time. So this way on Friday, we're just doing minis. So we'll have 3 heats of small blocks, which will take the top 3 out of each one of those heats. They come back and pull on a finals on Friday. Okay. And then we'll take 4 out of the big blocks. We have 1 heat of 15 of them. So we're looking forward to that. I think it's going to be good. I think the pullers are really going to enjoy it. So that's a big change. If that works well, then next year we can see, you know, if we want to add anything else to it, or maybe we don't need to add. So then Friday night, moving into that, same deal. Friday night's actually going to have the most amount of hooks, because of the minis having their finals on. Yeah. But
I see that. Yeah.
Our class numbers are actually looking pretty good. So as a fan in the stands, you know, you're going to see some classes that have 8 tractors in, or maybe 7, and move to the next class. And we always thought that was kind of a good thing. That's why we kind of landed on the number 12, because after 12 it starts to get a little bit stale. In my opinion, I'm a track pool fan. It's getting stale to me after about 8 or 10. You know what I mean? I want to see something else, regardless of what it is.
Wait till you get older.
No, I get it. No. So, and then Saturday, a normal show. Switched the truck class this year just to go with what's common in the area. The high horsepower diesel pickups have a really hard time hooking up to our track.
The cut tires.
Yeah. It's been a problem. Those guys have so much power. And then, you know, I watched videos from, you know, these guys pulling outside, like at the dark corners pool. I mean, shit, even on a good track like that, they still weren't opening them up to like 200 feet.
Yeah.
Well, with our pool at 200 feet, you're getting ready to be done.
Yep.
So I think it was kind of hard for them guys to make it work. So we went with the 3.0 truck class. Just because those style tires seem to work better on our track.
Yeah.
So we're kind of anxious to see how that all works. So that'll be.
We got ours ready for the 3.0 class, and if I remember right, I think a 3.0 truck beat the cut tire trucks the last 2 years.
Yeah,
because they were able to hook up a little bit better the track and not overpower it. So I think that was a wise move.
Yeah. No, and I hope that the guys, I mean, it seems like everyone signed up pretty quick. I think the guys are excited to come. We're excited to have them and watch them pull for sure. So that was a big change. And then when it comes to our final numbers, we're working with less hooks also. We'll be in the 60s number. So hopefully on Saturday night, we can have an awesome show and get people out of there in a decent time. Kind of, you know, you always have to go back to, you know, Rick Fight. He was a promoter in Western PA, Full Pool Productions. And he would always say, you want to pull your best stuff first, and you want to send them home wanting more. And I guess that's kind of the theory we're trying to send everyone home wanting more, not be like, hey, that was a okay pull, but boy, it took too long, you know? So it's still going to take a while. Don't get me wrong. We're still going to be pulling for 4 or 5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Like that's
a given.
Yeah. Sure. There's still plenty of pulling. So
Chuck Dutter, the page says top 4, the finals for your 3.0 diesel.
Top
trucks.
4 for the, yeah.
Yeah.
if you guys have a good crew and you keep it moving, but oftentimes when there's a hiccup or an issue, that kind of throws you out of the rhythm. As long as the guys stay in the rhythm, I think you guys won't have any problems.
Yeah. And what I see, we talked about ways to get into tractor pulling and JR, you can contest to this. Guys that we started flagging here when we had Forrester Nationals, and you'd come video, we'd put guys out there that never even held a set of flags and got them flagging and got them hooking. And we do that at Keystone a little bit. Like my guys that help me on the track, as far as the guys that drive the tractors. Previously, that was Darren Allison's crew helped me out a lot. Well, now that he's the sled guy, I had to kind of find another crew, which we have a great crew and the guys did an awesome job. But until they get in the rhythm of what is acceptable for a pulling track. So the big thing about Keystone, where you're under so much scrutiny, is we're all inside. The only thing we can do is look at the track. And then if the track is not up to everyone's standards, pullers start to get a little bit cranky, I'll say. So yeah. So what we try to do is there's a fine line between making it good and making it acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's something we need to work on. We're going to try a little different piece of equipment this year if we can get it, to try to help speed things up. The higher the horsepower of the tractor, the harder it is on the track. That track, it tears up easy. And then sometimes it's hard to put back the way it needs to be. It just depends. And that's another reason that, moving to garden tractors, that gives us more time to mess with it kind of all day long or Thursday to try to get it as perfect as possible.
Yep. Well, when pullers are pulling on a track, they have to realize if it's not optimal, everybody's still pulling on the not optimal track. It's not like you're getting the short end of the stick. Everybody pulls on it, but a lot of guys are complaining that it's hard on their equipment if the track ain't right.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry. Sometimes you do the best you can and it's still not quite.
I always told them if anybody had any complaints, I tell them, I tell you right now, the guys that I work with, meaning Jason, Guy, Toby, there's no more people in the world want to have the best track indoors than these guys. Okay.
Yeah.
They work with what they have to work with. We're not allowed to bring dirt in to mix with whatever's there. Take theirs out and put ours in. We can't do that. So, trust me, this crew of guys, if they had their way, they'd have the best track you could ever pull one on the indoor track. So,
well, there's a lot of things happen there that you don't even realize is going on. So when you're watering the track and you're trying to get it as perfect as possible, and you feel like you really got it, and then some high horsepower tractors come through there and dig this thing up, and now it's a dust bowl, and you're just standing there going, wow, how did we do this? How did we screw this up? And you can't take the time to stop the show and put more water down because we're up against it on time because we have so much equipment pulling.
Yeah, we've been very lucky, especially when we were running light supers. Whew, you talk about something to tear a track up now.
Yeah.
Those guys that tear a track up. Put on a good show, but my goodness.
Pro Stocks is another one, and that's one I didn't touch on, but the Pro Stock tractors, over the years, our Pro Stock crew has been declining. And I understand our track is probably not suited for their horsepower anymore. At first, I remember when we first had them down there, and Robert Martin was doing really well, and he went up there and he snuffed his tractor out. And I went up to him and said, Robert, I said, were you trying a different gear, or were you trying to? He's like, no. He said, that's the gear I need to be in here. He said, it's just pulling like crazy. And I don't know how many horsepower those guys had back then. This had been 10 years ago. The horsepower those guys are making now, the Louisville track can't hold them. It's 240 feet. You know what I mean? Right. So I understand that they're making so much power that to come to our track and try to lay that power out is difficult. Last year we had 4 tractors, and we were very happy to have those tractors. The only problem is which this year here, we're changing the design, the layout of the smoke tube a little bit in order to make it straighter, so we don't have that kink in it where we were having trouble with it blowing out last year with the supers and the pros. So we're working through that to try to make it better. And if there's a possibility to get the pro stocks back and have a class, we would definitely entertain that for the future. But for this year, we felt like, hey, maybe we should let these guys off the hook for now and then revisit it another year once we know that we're ready for them. So that's kind of a bummer because I like watching the pro stocks. Pro stocks are awesome.
I don't think I hear anybody that hate watching them. It makes sense.
But that's the reason why we left them out this year is we're trying to get ourselves maybe set up for them. Louisville doesn't have a problem with them. They didn't have no pipe problems with anything. But if you ever notice their system, it's quite a bit different than how we do it currently. So we're going to try to change that and hopefully end up with a better deal this year. And hey, those light pros that we have coming, those tractors are nothing to sneeze at. I mean, those guys are making some serious horsepower. They're probably going to try our pipe out just the same way as the big pro stocks did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The dual fuel class.
The dual fuel class would be something too, for sure.
Yeah.
All the supers, yeah. Sure.
Did Louisville run their pipe from the finish line?
Starting line.
From the starting line forward. Okay.
Yep.
So I was trying to remember how they did it.
So because they have it like that, their hose doesn't get the same kind of kink in ours does.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do this year is add another stick of pipe to the hose, and then right there where our connection point is in the middle of the track, we're actually going to move that back about 4 feet. Okay. So we're gonna lose a row of chairs in that first section, one toward the starting line, and try to move that back so everything is working at a straighter flow, and hopefully that's going to help us.
Yeah, Louisville has a wider area to work with too.
Yes. And more pipe. Mm-hmm. You ever see how much pipe they have? They have twice as much pipe, it looked like.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, having a blowout loses time too.
It's terrible. And if anyone ever wondered why some of the classes, the arrangement of classes, like people ask me, why wouldn't you arrange the classes so you didn't have to change the weight in the sled so much?
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And we've done that in the past. But really what we're doing now is we're trying not to have 2 hot diesel classes back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you notice how the schedule looks, we try to put a gas class real close to the diesel class in between, in case if we did have a major blowout and we couldn't fix, we can pull that off to the side and keep on pulling.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into thinking about how these classes are ran. It's not just randomly, hey, let's put this here, let's put this there. And probably, we probably overthink it. When you really look at it, you probably overthink it when it's all said and done.
Is there such a thing, right?
You're trying to do a better job. I mean, you're trying to make a smoother show. So overthinking it is not always overthinking it, because if you're never going to know if you don't try it.
Yeah.
But a lot of things have changed over 17 years. Believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of things have changed.
Well, if you go all the way back, JR, to the first year. And in the first couple years that we pulled were probably the coolest years ever, because we had the 2-wheelers there, the blown 2-wheelers, and we had East Coast mods there with multi-engines.
First year. That was only there the 1 year, the first year.
Well, yeah, because what happened was, and everyone's like, why don't you have these guys? Why don't you have them back? Why don't you do this? We would love to have them. That's not the problem. The problem is for the people who weren't there, the ventilation system was nothing like it is right now. So basically, they have vents up in the ceiling of the equine arena, And they said, hey, this should be adequate to pool, and we can change the air out. And we started running these trucks and these mods, and like people were coming down out of the stands because it wasn't fit to be there.
It was bad.
I remember sitting up there, and I just went up there to sit to see how bad it was. And I'm like, hey, if we don't do something for tomorrow, we are done. We're not going to be able to pool. So I actually left that night, and I went down to a friend of mine that tears out chicken houses, and I bought all these fans, chicken house fans, big fans, and we built a frame quick. And by the end of the time of the start of the next pool, we had this whole rack of fans to go in behind the sled to draw all the fumes out, and that's what got us to pool. Now, what happened, I guess this maybe happened the second year, JR, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a full class of two-wheelers running, even with the fans. We're pulling, and all of a sudden, the fire alarms start going off, and all the doors in the facility start closing.
Yeah, alarms going off, lights blinking and carrying on, emergency lights.
We're screwed. What happened was our carbon monoxide level got too high with the smoke and everything else, and this facility just started shutting itself down to protect itself.
Basically.
So basically the farm show is like, hey, you guys can't be shutting our doors and setting our fire alarms off, tractor pulling. You got to figure something else out. So we had to cut. I mean, the mods we cut after the first year because they completely destroyed the track. I'm talking first run destroyed. Like couldn't even put it back together, destroyed.
Did we ever get paid for the cleaning service we provided for him with that modified class?
Oh, that was something.
All the dust coming down off years of being open. And we cleaned her up, buddy.
I'm telling you, it looked like a Kansas dust storm in there.
It was hilarious. Yeah. It's like it just rained dirt. It was just dust.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Oh, don't worry. It's like going in the summertime when it's dusty and you get home at night and the next day you're still trying to get dust out of your nose.
Yeah.
Or smoke.
Yeah, there's been a lot of improvements. You got to make changes. You want to pull everybody, but you just can't. And sometimes you don't have a choice. So, I mean, they are the boss. It's their building. They have it, they have levels and rules they got to abide by. And when they own the building, you got to abide by it. So
I do have one quick question. The packets that get sent out to the poolers, is that already done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did. We just emailed back today because we still didn't get ours.
Yeah. The packet and what the packet consists of, just so everyone knows, the packet will give you directions on basically how to get into the facility and what to expect. For some reason, if you didn't get your packet, it's not the end of the world. So when you get there, which our parking area for the guys that haven't pulled, our parking area, we try to limit it. I mean, we do limit it just to the haulers. And then port vehicles can park right outside there. We don't let them park with the haulers. That's the big first thing you run into. But once you get there and you go to registration, you'll get all the same information that you're going to get in the packet. So it's not the end of the world if your packet doesn't show up.
I got you.
In time. And I will take the blame on the packets not going out, mainly because we were trying to get things sealed up on a couple of the classes there at the end. And it was just a little bit of a struggle. So probably should have let Destiny just go ahead and send them out ahead of time to the ones that we knew what classes were what. But we held everything up till I got all the classes completely fixed up the way they need to be.
Yep. That's cool.
Yeah. I see. Also, we want I keep saying we, I apologize. You want everybody there in the stands watching, obviously, but those that cannot make it there is live stream available by session that I have here. And if you buy all sessions, it's $90 and you're getting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're getting 5 shows. If you buy them separately, it's like 130, I think, if you buy them by the day. If you buy all of them by the day, it's 130. Let's see, Thursday and Friday is $20. That's Friday a.m. And Friday p.m. and Saturday a.m. is $25 per show. And then the Saturday night finals is $30. So just buy them all for $90 and save yourself $30. So
that's one heck of a deal.
From your house, absolutely. I'll promise you one thing.
Remember what Kendra paid for hers?
You won't buy another indoor live stream tractor pool this cheap. I can promise you that. And you won't buy tickets to get in the doors any cheaper than you'll get this show for. So trust me, it's well worth the money.
So this year on the live stream, quite a bit went into this. So previously we used the live streaming service by Watch Pulling TV, which is NTPA. Those guys always did us a good job. Last year, we ran into some technical difficulties. They were putting on a show out at Shipshewana, and we were doing our show. They weren't actually on the grounds. JR, you were definitely getting the calls and emails and the people running up to you, the same as I was. And we were trying to get it figured out, which they ended up getting it figured out. It wasn't quite as fast as what we'd have liked. So our guy that was doing the filming said, hey, why don't we make up our own, server and do it ourselves? I'm like, can we do that? And he's like, yeah. So we actually tested it this year at an outdoor pool. We went ahead and spent the money and tested how everything would work. It worked really good. And so this year we actually have our own streaming service, which I'm not a computer guy, so I don't even know if that sounds like a big deal or not, but we're going to blow it up.
Pretty involved,
So we have
great.
whatever. And the guy that's in charge of that will be at the pool. So if there's a problem, he can take care of it, which will be nice.
Good.
And this year we're going to have separate announcers for the live stream.
Oh, cool.
That is awesome. That's a good idea. Yep.
So we're going to do that. We're going to do that just to make sure that people are getting their money's worth on the live stream.
Here.
I watched the live stream from Louisville on Saturday night, and nothing against what they did. I did not prefer having the camera zoomed in on the tractor. I don't know what you guys think about it, but I like to see the track. I like to see the sled. I like to see what's happening in behind, meaning the crowd. And they really had it zoomed up on the tractor, so I really could never tell how fast the tractor was going or how good of a pull he was actually having.
Yeah.
So that's kind of some of the stuff. It's probably preference that we'll work through with the different cameras and such. But there was a lot of dead time on that live stream for Louisville, a lot of dead time. And Corey was big on, hey, let's have separate announcers. Let's keep the show rolling for the people who are at home. Let's not get them bored. At least if you're sitting there at the pool, you probably are talking to someone you're with. Or maybe there's so much to look at that you're not going to see on live stream. So hopefully the guys can talk and keep people engaged and interested in the pool. So
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Definitely.
They think of everything. Tell me.
Yeah. Well,
Corey's the big show, so you got to understand.
No, he does. He's got the brains to think about all this stuff, and then we just try to implement it and make it work. So really, which I'm pretty sure Tagger is going to be one of the announcers for the live stream. So he'll probably be around trying to gather up as much information as he can from guys that he doesn't know, just so that they have something to talk about. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun that way. I mean, so even if you can't make the pool, live stream is we're trying to push for the live stream to be like being at the pool.
That's great. I might, if I can't make it there, which, like I say, for me it'd be last minute. Hey, I'm here, but if not, I may buy into that live stream. It's going to kill me, but at least I'll get to see the pool.
Yeah, no,
for sure. Be on this end of it. But.
I'll be there. I don't think I've missed it in 12 years or something. Who knows when?
Yeah. Well, and the pool is a great place to meet up with old friends. It's a great place to make new friends.
Absolutely.
And if you're interested in horsepower, it's a great place to learn how to make some horsepower, because there's a lot of pullers there that are not as tight-lipped as what you think, and they'll help you out. So it's a good place to definitely network and learn something.
And that brings up another good point about the pits being open. Roughly 9-10 a.m. I guess till 1 hour prior to showtime, unless you guys have changed that.
Yeah, pretty much the pits are open the whole entire time. Okay. We in the past we've, obviously the pits aren't too busy when the pool's going on because everyone's in watching the pool, but we're not gonna hassle you if you want to walk back in the pits while maybe your favorite class is not pulling. Sure. You can walk back there. It's not a problem. No one's going to run you off.
Well, it helps your vendors back there too.
Yeah, your vendors and there's food vendors and yep.
But with the open pits, it's great to go in and definitely meet. There isn't a single truck or tractor puller back there that wouldn't enjoy having a child sitting in their seat, get pictures with, autographs, etc. That's what pullers are humans too. They like to share their experience with people, and I don't think there's a single one of them that wouldn't take the time to sit down, talk to you and your children or whatever, and sign autographs all day long. So,
well, that's the thing. As a puller, you do all this work and you do all this messing around, and the time you spend on a pulling vehicle is crazy. Insane. Yeah. It's fun when someone comes up and asks you a question.
Yeah.
Hey, where did you get that at? Hey, did you build that? Hey, what does that do? Like that's, and I encourage the pullers to pop their hoods up. Let your hood open. Let people see your work. Mm-hmm. Like there's no big secret underneath there. I can assure you that the guy it's no big secret. Okay. Like that's not the stuff on the outside for the most part. It's not what makes them go. Everyone can buy that same stuff. It's what's happening on the inside of your motor. Go ahead and show your stuff off. Be proud of what you've done. Be proud of building this and building that, and strike up some conversation. That's how you earn fans.
That's right. That's
exactly right. Where we fail, I think, in tractor pulling a lot is we can't get a good fan base. I shouldn't say a good one. I should say a large fan base for each particular vehicle. The only way we can get it is if we come up with some kind of catchy name for our vehicle, because we don't get it because the fans don't know the drivers for sure. They have no clue who's even driving it or ever. And two, everyone's so tight knit with their equipment that they're afraid to pop their hoods. And then worse than that, if the guy comes around and wants to talk a little bit, they think it's some competitor from another state or something and don't want to talk to him about anything. Yeah. And get some kind of screwy numbers on horsepower and how much boost you make. And basically it's a bunch of lies. Like, how are you ever going to gain a fan base if that's how you're going to talk? You can't do that.
Even respect from another puller.
Yeah, correct.
Something that I like doing at pools is if I see somebody checking the truck out, is to actually invite them over to look inside or look under the hood. It's a good way to break the ice and show people what it's all about.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is the way to do it, for sure.
Now, sorry, we won't keep you much longer, Jason. And Nicole, thank you for coming on. We're going to get to you next. You're next on.
You're good.
Okay. Tickets will be available to be purchased at the door, correct?
Yes. Just like always. Yeah. You can purchase the tickets online, save $2, or purchase them at the door, and we're gonna whack you another $2.
It's like a credit card company.
Well, the thing and the real reason for that is you're trying to get people to spend their money ahead of time so you can kind of plan on what's going to happen. So instead of waiting till the event, and it's basically the culture has changed also. It's not just us. It's the way people purchase things now. They want to do it online. So if you're going to take your time to do that, we're going to save you a couple bucks.
This is the way they like to do it right here. You can say online.
Yeah.
Cell phone has become the everyday computer for people.
Oh yeah.
My old ticket company that I used to use for this show. Jason, the aggravation we used to go through.
Yeah.
They were old school. but they were. I'll tell you, after 2020, I gained a lot of respect with them, but I could never get them to get with the cell phone times with their programming. It just would not work. And I finally got a hold of the right person there. Not that it means anything now, but she finally set the record straight, give me step by step instructions, solved everything. Why didn't they do that for me 10 years ago? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think
you couldn't see your seats.
the problem is a lot of these companies, they're used to doing business the old way.
Mm-hmm. Guilty. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, we're all guilty of that, and it's because it works. We are doing our business the old way, and it's working. And to get into something new, we don't necessarily have to do that just yet. Right. But you're going to miss out if you don't do it.
That's right. Yeah, this new system, I went and I just piddled around a little bit. It's pretty good. Pretty cool deal. The guy did a good job getting everything set up.
Yeah. I mean, it's
especially the entries. That saved, like you say, drawing the number, saved all the aggravation of doing all that stuff. No more printed tickets, that we had to provide and stuff. So,
yeah, the funny thing about the numbers, which JR, you always drew the numbers before, and we decided, hey, let's just do a random number. So you got a unique ID number. Yes. And it's funny because there was multiple times that in a class, the owner of multi-vehicles, their unique ID lined up together. They're like, this isn't right. This is rigged. Like, wait a minute, bud. If we had a bingo roller here, it is possible that a B21 and a B22 rolled out for the same dude.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So random to us in our mind, I think, as well. You should have one in the beginning of the class and one at the end of the class, but that's not how it works.
Right. That's right. And all this information, folks, again, you got one full week. They start pulling next Thursday.
Yes.
No test hooks this year, correct?
No test hooks, and only because we do not do a good enough job on the track to have a decent test hook. And it's just a waste of everyone's time, and we've recognized that. And I think we just put it to bed because of that. And the reason being, we have to put so much water in the track on Wednesday during the day to keep it decent for the whole show that it's entirely too wet for Wednesday night. It's never been good for anybody. So we just eliminated it.
Yeah, that's after last year. I could see that for sure. I mean, it was nobody's fault. It's just what you have to do to maintain that track for a lot of hooks in that particular type of dirt. It's
rough. Track conditions are pretty important, and if you have to throw away test hooks, so be it.
Yeah,
it's fine. It'll be fine, and I'm sure pullers will understand that. What do you learn on a track that's self-sufficient? You know what I mean? You don't learn anything.
Well, I know there's a couple pullers.
Unless you're just worried about building boost. But
yeah, I definitely know there's a couple pullers that did some test hooks that wish they never would have test hooked because they never got to pull in a real show because they busted their stuff up.
That is correct. You're absolutely
that makes
right.
for a long weekend.
Yeah, on everybody. Everybody. But yeah, that's great. And everything can be found KeystoneNationalsPool.com, folks. I was with the crew from day one for 17 years, and it gets 110% effort. And please go and support them. It's great sponsors, great people that the money is put towards, and they could sure use your help for doing the work that they did. And please, KeystoneNationalsPool.com. If you can't go to the pool, buy the live stream. It sounds like it's going to be fantastic. So
yeah. One thing I want to mention, and it's new for this year, is actually Penn State College has a tractor pull team, and they put together a garden tractor, which this is all news to me. Just found these kids. They're coming to the pool to help us with the pool.
Okay.
From Penn State, and I just found this out today. We had our show meeting today that the farm show has dorms for kids, for show cattle, and for situations like this. These college kids are going to stay at the dorms at the farm show complex.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how cool is that? So
that's awesome.
The farm show is 100% set up for kids, and everything kid. We do the pedal tractor pull, and if no one has been to the pedal tractor pull yet on Saturday morning, bring out your kids. It's a big deal. Farm Credit is the big sponsor for that. And the guy that puts on the pedal pull is super serious about pedal pulling. It's as good as the main show in the arena. So you have to come check it out.
Again, that's something that's 110%. I know that guy does a well of a job of that, and it is free to compete.
Yes, it is free, and I'll guarantee you're going to get some milk at the end, win or lose.
Some milk.
That's a good prize.
There's something for everybody in the family at this show. So you got vendors, kids got stuff to do, and a free, pedal pool for them on Saturday morning. So absolutely, get out there.
Like...
if you can't make it, again, the live stream, everything's on KeystoneNationalsClub.com. I've been looking through the website, and it's very explanatory what to do. Find the link, click on it, and it'll tell you what to do. So it's working good. I'm sure ticket sales are good for the show, and
we're on track as of right now to every other year we had. So I think it's going to be a great show as always, and we look forward to meeting new people and seeing some of our old friends that we haven't seen since last year.
That's awesome.
Yep, I'm excited about it.
Quit rubbing
for
it
sure.
I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try to get there. I really am. Even if it's just one of the shows, I'm going to do my best to get there.
We'll drag you along.
Yeah.
Farm show milkshakes, right?
I don't know if they'll be there or not. I don't know if they set up there or not, but if that's what it's going to take to get the job done, we can probably get a milkshake or two there.
I'm sure we could.
We were bringing them out to our Beast of the East show, and that's how we were trying to con people to come out and hang out with us, offer them a milkshake.
Yeah.
They twisted my arm. I started going to all their shows now and ain't there no more.
Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that, Hot Wheels Collector. Yeah, I've been, I kind of found a different niche, however you want to pronounce that word, in the pulling video industry on this thing we call YouTube. And I just got a comment here that he's loving all the Keystone Full event videos. I have 16 years of those. So, yeah, they're coming. We'll get to them eventually. The ones you really want to check out, the old Forrester National ones. You didn't know what you were going to see, who you were going to see driving. That was some cool stuff back in the day. It really was. So, and Candace Kincaid says, we are looking forward to coming and pulling. It will be our first time pulling at this event.
I think they're in the 3.0 diesel class.
Yeah. Would they be from the Midwest, like Kentucky or something? Or?
Ohio or, I think so.
And somebody had asked about if Dirkson's coming this year. I didn't look at the list. Okay, he is coming to defend his championship. Next Wednesday night here, with help or without help, I'm going through the entire by session class lineup of all the classes. So we're going to read them off, and that's next Wednesday's big job. So when we get on here, so Jason, other than that, we won't tie you up any longer, and we appreciate you coming on, and you made some very good points, and it sounds like this might be one of the best shows ever. With the big lineup change around and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
We certainly, as the committee, puts a lot of work into this, as you know, JR. You helped us out for all these years and still helping us out. And, everyone surely appreciates what you do for pulling and what you've done for Keystone. But this year, the committee's worked real hard to trying to make it really nice for the pullers, as we always do, try to make it better. If you're at the pool and you have suggestions, it's not too hard to find a committee member doing the work out there, whether it be at the scales, whether it be at the end of the track or at the beginning of the track, or when you're getting ready to, when you get your hitch checked, you can find one there. If you have a suggestion, don't be afraid to talk to someone.
Right.
We're just pullers putting on a tractor pull for pullers. So we're always looking for, hey, you could do this, and it's not going to be like, what's this guy think? Constructive criticism is always good. And, no one's going to get upset. We're looking to do the best that we can, and we're always looking for help. So if you're at the pool and you thought to yourself, man, I'd like to jump out there and do something, maybe on the track or maybe help out some way during the show, don't be afraid to ask one of us.
Right.
You will get a job. real quick one.
I guarantee it. So always something to do.
Well, yeah.
Maybe I have to put it on my resume, JR.
Yeah.
Dwayne's always available. Trust me.
Yeah.
You need help, just look for Dwayne.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, everyone's always like, "Oh, all you gotta do is ask me." Well, sometimes it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
You know, you're not sure if someone's there with their family, or if they're pulling or when they're pulling, and so it's always easier if someone just says, "Hey, man, you need some help," and at that point, it's like, "Yeah, I could use so and so," or "Hey, come back in an hour," or "Hey, no, we're good tonight. We have plenty of help." I mean, basically, all the people that go up there are volunteers, except for the people we have to pay for the sleds and to do some of the real stuff. But for the most part, it's volunteer. I mean, there's probably 50 to 70 volunteers up there running around there daily.
Quite a bit.
So it wouldn't hurt to have 80, I can assure you.
Yep. You can never find in.
Go ahead, Mike.
I said you can never have enough of help at a pull. Being a promoter and organizing pulls, you could always use 2 extra guys.
Yeah. Well, just to go take a leak or whatever, just to run the flags for a little bit, or gives you a different perspective when you're out there on the track when everything's buzzing up through there. And I'm not asking someone to do that if they don't feel comfortable, but hey, there's guys that flag outside all the time that flagging inside is no different. You just got to be on your game. That's all.
Yep. Shorter.
Hey, just feel sorry for the cameraman. He doesn't get to just walk away.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I was wondering real quick, did we ever put out a suggestion box anytime during these years? I can't remember if we ever put one out or not.
What's that?
A suggestion box in different areas with little notepads or something. I don't remember if we ever did that or not. But
I don't think we were ever that organized. To be honest with you.
Well, we probably got a little scared. Lord knows what you'd open the box and find in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that could have been a problem too. Yeah.
Could be.
But yeah, just in your prospective classes that you're running, one thing about the computer that people kind of forget about when they're signing up, when you signed up, you agreed that you fit the rules in the class. And one thing that we want to note this year, and it'll come out, hopefully I can get an email sent out from registration just to remind everyone, you probably better make sure that you're legal for each class. Because if you come to Keystone and you wouldn't be legal for the class, it's very high possibility that you won't be able to pull.
Yep.
Turbo rules.
Turbos, cylinder heads, fuel. If you're allowed to run fancy fuel in your class, and at Keystone, you're allowed to run fancy fuel in your class. If you're allowed to run a 3.0 turbo in your class, then you can run a 3.0 turbo. You cannot run a 3.1.
Right.
And you can't run a 3.2. So over the years, we tried to be lenient for a lot of the classes, just because it was an indoor Keystone pool. But we did receive a fair amount of flack from other pullers that knew that the guys were cheating. And this year, we're going to try to do a better job of weeding those guys out, because there's nothing worse than all these guys doing their hard work and someone coming with the wrong equipment knowingly to pull. Like that's not how tractor pulling is, and we can't have that. Even though it's not points, we still got to try to stay within the rules.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you have rules. You follow the rules or you don't play.
That's the reality of it. You have to follow.
I don't think there's anything wrong with following the rules, because that also helps you keep your safety equipment in line, because safety equipment's become more and more important every year. And this year, again, it's on the top of the list.
Yes.
So
one other thing I want to bring up is, speaking of safety, the sled organization has added like an extra piece to the hook, and the rule has always been, for at least the last 5 years, 3 3/4 deep and 3 inches wide.
Right.
Yeah.
If your hole is that, I encourage you to check it because if it's 3.5, the hook will not fit in there.
Correct.
Now, if your hook was 3.5 last year at Keystone, the hook would have fit in there.
No.
This year,
It's not going to work.
the hook will not fit in there. And once you see the piece that they put on there so that the hook can't jump out, you'll understand. And we are actually going to have a hook at the scales that you'll have to put that hook in your vehicle before you pull off the scales.
Yep.
Okay. That's a good idea.
That creates less backlog at the sled when you're trying to hook trucks up and it ain't working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think those the anti-jump out pin on the front of the hook, I think that's been implemented on some sleds for quite a few years, but I don't know exactly how big it was.
They added a 1/2 inch to it this year, and that's what's creating the issue. So when we were in Florida, of course, they had this new hook on the sled, and there was tractors pulling there that's pulled at Keystone and all over East Coast. They were East Coast Hut Farm, and they got the hook in, but then they couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, after that, I'm like, hey, we better make sure everyone's good to go because we don't have a lot of extra time to mess around with that.
Yep.
To Keystone.
Well, that's the 3 by 3 3/4 rule has been in effect for a couple of years, and yeah, a lot of guys probably just never gave it a thought.
Yeah, no, it's one of them things that, hey, it always worked. You just overlook it, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
That's correct, Jacob. Yeah, 3 by 3 3/4.
It doesn't hurt to say it over and over and over. You're still going to find guys that they're going to have bad hitches. There's always some, especially if you got a crowd this big.
Believe it or not everybody has internet to get the word as quick as the rest of us will get. So that's true. A lot of people don't have internet.
Well, one thing's for sure, you know, we're willing to help everyone try to get to the hook, to get hooked up one way or another, and we'll do anything we can to help you if you ask us. If you show up and your hitch isn't quite right, we will have a fabricator, welder, torch guy, I'll call him, on the grounds closer to pull time. And if you break something, he would also be there to, you know, fix you up.
Right. But just don't show up knowingly or unknowingly with a hitch that is not up to snuff and jump up and down and throw a fit when they tell you you need to fix it or you can't hook. Don't throw a fit. So, I mean, it's hitch rule's been in for quite a while. So, that opening. So, yep. That's a good point to bring up. Yep. All right, man.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me on. We look forward to seeing everyone at the show.
Yep.
And
hopefully I get to see you there. You bet.
Yeah. And everyone, get your stuff tuned up, get the horsepower cranked to them. And competition's going to be real good this year.
There's a hungry Smurf waiting for you, right?
Oh, man. You wait, you ain't seen nothing yet. That Smurf. This Smurf is there's gonna be some trouble. Those guys are gonna be going home, going, what the heck happened here?
There you go, my turbo guys. You better be on your A game.
Well, thanks.
On your A game.
Yeah, thanks a lot for putting all the work in to put it together and all the rest of the crew. And we'll see you in a week.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
We'll see you.
Yep.
Awesome. Never a dull moment with that one. Never a dull moment. So yeah, that's it's going to be a big deal. And like I say, next Wednesday, Dwayne. I don't know what Dwayne will be doing, but we're gonna. Well, Kendra hopefully will be back. She's like I say, she's doing some family stuff. So, but we're definitely going to read over all the lineup entries by session in the order they are pulling. The only thing I didn't ask, I wasn't sure. I'll check later if the classes are in order or not. But anyway, we'll definitely give you all the pulling order lineups next week. KeystoneNationalsPool.com if you don't want to wait. How's Nicole Morrison?
Doing pretty good, you?
Here. I'm here drinking coffee, just having a good old time. What do we have in a wild world of antique pulling?
Oh, God. Don't even start on that anymore.
Oh, boy.
Fallen Grove, we're going to have that Saturday night. I think it's the 29th of June. We're going to go ahead and open up the track to have a open antique pool as well as a truck pool, kind of like we did 2 years ago. we've gotten full reign of that to do what we want with that. So any trucks, any tractors, anything out there wants to come on down, we're welcome to come down and pull. We can run whatever we want there. We have the sled coming in.
What date is that?
June 29th. I know, East Coast is somewhere else. I know.
Oh my goodness. Boonesboro, Maryland.
Yep.
Wow. Got to schedule your pulls, but I'm just kidding. I'm
not the one who picks the dates.
Well, you need to step up. Put
I
your
don't
foot down.
think
That's what we're going to do, especially at Delta.
We're trying.
Did I say that?
Let's not talk about that one.
I ain't saying a word.
I'm
just too close to Delta.
I mean, Delta, we're getting there. We have the date set. That's about it.
I know you are.
So this information will be posted on social media then for what the classes and what's happening then. Good deal. Good deal.
Means yes.
Yes, yep. I know. I'm getting things posted. We're still waiting on some more meetings to happen before we finalize all classes, but for the most part,
people are distilling my heart here, man. Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's 17 years, man. This would have been year number 18 for me, but well,
I've been there twice.
Still could be. You only been there twice?
Yeah, it's hard to believe. I know, twice.
Wow, that's an awesome time. It really is. It's a lot of work if you're involved. I can tell you that. A lot of work. Lots of work.
We'd be having podcasts once a month if he were still involved. Now he can do it every week, or he'd be answering the phone in the middle of a podcast, right?
Yeah, it's hi John. It's a big undertaking for everybody. It really is.
I'll be there the week after that.
Yes, you will, and I'm sure there's going to be I don't know. I got to hear from Olin. I'm sure we'll be doing a midshore, whatever that new thing's called.
Midshore poolers or whatever.
I got to aggravate them, you know. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be doing a big recap from Chatham, and I miss Chatham too. Chatham, Virginia. Love that pool. Love that indoor pool for them antique guys. 2 years in a row I've had to miss it, and I'm going to go ahead and put my neck on the line now. Say I'll be there in 2025. I said it. I said the same thing this year, but the man upstairs had other things for me to do. So, funny, Terry outlawed. I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean. Funny car 2-wheel drive pullers outlawed, as in East Coast or at Keystone. If you can answer that question for me. Keystone was. To the best of my knowledge, it would be fumes number 1. Again, we have to abide by the building rules. Anybody thinks, well, you run blower trucks there or blower other, but it ain't the same. These lone 2-wheel drive trucks run a big blower, and yeah, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. It's something that had to be done. East Coast, I'm not getting into it. That's not for me to answer. But anyway, J.R. Rolfe, June 15th, Appalachian Outlaws at Rockfish Valley Fire Department track in Afton, Virginia. August 3rd, Appalachian Outlaws at Augusta Expoland, Fishersville, Virginia. Been there many times. July 26th, Hampshire County Fair Pool, Augusta, West Virginia. So there you go.
And the plan is also, I have the Appalachian Outlaws hat on. We're also planning on having them at our August 10th event, but I'm not sure if that's 100% official yet.
Yeah, Terry, they don't pull with East Coast Pro Pulling currently. Let's see. Dragon Motorsports runs them. Full Pull Productions runs them. Hopefully they're back here one day, we hope. So, that's really all I can tell you about that. Nicole, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to butt in and start reading stuff off if you have anything else, or gosh, I didn't realize
I only have one other day for Fall and Grove, and that's September 7th. We're having a fall pool now.
Can't make that one either.
I can't help it. What day can you make?
Anything that ain't on here. Oops.
I got it. It's in my Bible. Don't worry. I have the schedule. I'm good.
Trust me. You're a Morrison. You have the East Coast schedule.
I have multiple schedules right now.
But
got them all.
got them all.
I do, actually.
Mr. Duante.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking, once again, you have another pool added to your schedule.
Yeah.
Why don't you go over that quickly again?
I got to pull it up here because I was so
Don't
busy
pull it
with
too hard.
the other one. We are partnering with Keystone Nationals, which is going to be at the Expo Center. And they are having a truck show. And on Saturday night, we're having a pool with 4 classes. We're doing a pool with them. So, let me see here. Saturday night, and we're having street semis.
There we go.
Wild Street Diesel, Street Gas, and Mod Gas. And it's going, I didn't get the date. I messed it up. The date is July the 13th. So the truck show is July 12th and 13th at Lebanon Valley Expo Center. You can find it on Facebook at Keystone Nationals. And there's more info on there, and all the proceeds go to help fight cancer. So they have a bunch of activities throughout the day, but the truck pool is going to be on Saturday the 13th at 6 p.m. and running the 4 classes that I mentioned: street semis, Wild Street Diesel, Street Gas, and Mod Gas.
What was that date again?
July the 13th. July the 13th.
I just may be able to make that one.
It's going to be a nice little show. Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. I'm getting the evil eye. Your ass better be in donut.
Like, wait a minute, that's our date. Hold up.
Pretty much, just to answer Joe Ross' question real quick. I don't know personally. I'm thinking it's the same rules they follow in Carolina with that particular class down there with PPL. It's my knowledge. They have a couple safety updates to make to their vehicles, and they'll be good to go. JR, that's the best I can tell you on that. Something else someone is doing.
Yeah, Jacob, unfortunately, it is the same night as Burke's, which was an oversight. That wasn't planned.
No. Dang nabbit. I can't remember what I was going to say. It was the truth, too. I just can't remember what it was. Anyway, well, I don't remember.
Beast of the East, May 18th, June the 15th, and August the 10th. We'll be running Wild Street Diesels, 2.6 class, 3.0 limited pro stock, street legal semis, street gas, pro stock gas, and Hot Farm. We'll be running East Coast Hot Farm and East Coast Diesel 4x4 class at the 3 events. And on the August event, we will be running small block high output and big block high output. That's the plan with Appalachian Outlaws. So pretty close to the same thing as what we ran last year, but having those 2 East Coast classes involved with us this year. So we're pretty excited about it.
Chase Steinman, definitely plan on coming out to that Beast of the East. Any of them, come on over, man. You like the film too, right? Just kidding. But yeah, come hang out, man. And I also want to get with you too. We're going to get a show together, see what's going on. Maybe we can get old man Bob with us too. Did I say old man? I'm sorry, Bob. But anyway, Terry Burgett, this might interest you, Dwayne. He wants to know how he can donate some money for that, meaning the cancer deal you're doing. My mom died with cancer, and I want to help. I can't travel, but I want to help. So if you want to try to figure out how to hook up with him,
if he goes on, Facebook on Keystone Large Car Nationals, Keystone Large Car Mag Nationals. Woo, that's gonna not come up very good.
just let him see.
You go.
There you go, right there. Keystone Large Car Mag Nationals
on Facebook, and if you scroll down, there's a page with the contact info on how to put money towards the event. So it's right on there.
Okay, I got to change this page over here. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah,
it's my videos. That's the sad part. Tom Travis, I'm going to have any super stock lawnmowers. If you mean at Keystone, yes, they will have super stock. They have many classes, many different classes. Super stock is one of them. And that is the Keystone Garden Tractor Pull in the large arena this year. That's where they'll be, if that's what you're referring to. Anything outdoors with us or with Dwayne or Nicole, we do not run garden tractors. So, but there's clubs out here doing it. Okay, actually, I do have a couple of East Coast updates. Last 2 weeks ago, we read off the full schedule, but there were some events that didn't have all the classes listed. And the second Berryville event, June 1st, is a Pro Stock 4-wheel drive trucks, modified 4x4 trucks, and the East Coast Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks will be at the June 1st Berryville event. And the third of the events for this year, August 17th at Berryville, will be running the Pro Stock 4-wheel drive class. And by the way, that is a new truck class for us this year. Modified 4-wheel drive trucks and the Super Stock Pro Stock tractors. Again, that one will be August 17th at 6 p.m. And September 14th, Winchester Power Pools in Winchester, Virginia is back with East Coast Pro Pooling for the modified 4-wheel drive trucks, Pro Stock, Pro Stock 4-wheel drive trucks, I'm sorry, and the Light Pro tractors will be on hand September 14th at 6 p.m. We're still waiting on classes for the Great Frederick Fair, and I think we got everybody else covered. Laurelton, we did read those off 2 weeks ago, and there was ramblings of a possible one or two other events to be added. I'm not sure about that, where that is or what. We'll wait and see. So it's gonna be a busy summer. Busy summer for sure. Look at that. We didn't have Kendra. We're almost at an hour and a half. Because we all know Kendra loves to talk. You know what? She's not here now. We can pick on her. We can just give her the Dickens, man.
Well, it'll be better next week because I want to know how those pickles turned out.
Okay.
She made some smoked dill pickles this week and posted on social media.
You can have them. No offense, Kendra. She can have them. I'm not a pickle eater.
Diesel smoke.
No. Never have been.
No idea. Just curious.
And you're very welcome, Terry. And from all of us in the pulling community, we thank you for wanting to reach out and help a good deal in the world of pulling for cancer. Cancer sucks, for sure.
No test hooks next week.
Chris Baker, there are no test hooks. No pulling until Thursday. No test hooks. Roll the coal, you bet, buddy. Yeah, that's the rules, JR. I was told is what the PPL in North Carolina is running is what we're going to be running here. So If that changes, we'll let you know. And I'm sure the rules will be posted. If not already, they'll be on propulling.com. And you pull up the rule book link there, and you'll be able to go through and find East Coast, et cetera, for that. For Pro Stock 4x4. Rules will be in there. So
That's what I forgot to ask last week, when the current rules are going to be on the website.
very soon. Once they get their tech schools done and there's no changes from their directors,
Gotcha.
of the different organizations, and if there's any changes, they'll make them quick and then get them posted. So, but I would say very soon. It'll be before the pulling season. So.
Good deal.
Okay, I'm done.
I think I'm done too.
I'm done.
You just had a lot to say tonight.
I know.
Kitty cat.
Yeah, we've been paying attention to the kitty cat behind your shoulder there.
Yeah, Merlin. Yeah,
Marilyn.
Merlin.
Merlin.
Merlin the wizard. And
I was going to say Merlin the Wizard. Is that you just trying to be funny and say Merlin, the state of Merlin?
nope, Merlin.
Yeah,
Merlin
she doesn't have a really hard accent.
No.
You know this guy?
No.
Never seen him before in your life, have you?
No.
Hi, Brian Morrison.
Is that the guy from the other room?
No.
Oh, no.
He's down the road.
That would be her brother.
Yep.
Brother, I gotcha. Good deal. I just don't know enough about enough people.
Cat. Is the cat fully black? Somebody's asking.
Yeah.
Yep.
If she
I
runs
got
in front,
one too. I got one too. Her name's Butters.
if she runs in front of you, it might be bad luck.
No, not this one.
Oh my!
I guarantee if she runs in front of you, it'll be less hassle than if a Bigfoot ran in front of you. So.
Yeah, for sure. Getting hammered by a Sasquatch instead of a kitty cat.
Did I say that? Anyway, all right, we're rambling.
Yeah,
Kendra's going to be badly picking on me tomorrow when she hears all this nonsense. Mustn't upset the queen. So
don't do that.
All right. With that said, we will definitely be back here next Wednesday, barring any complications with anybody. And we will. That's untrue. They just need more love, and that. There you go. There you go. My wife would tell you the same thing. Trust me. Don't talk bad about her cats. Oh my God. Yes, I'm talking to you, dear. I know you're listening to me.
Don't say nothing bad in front of the cat lady.
I got to go through that door out there yet. But join us, please. Next Wednesday, 8:00. We're going to be going over those Keystone lineups. After that, we're probably I'm gonna gather up some of the old guys and do a classic show. And when I say old guys, I'm looking for Bill Grove, Mike Ziegler, and maybe even a Donnie Landis if he's available. If I can get Kevin to get on there and learn him how to get on a laptop and come on live and everything. I think that would make a great show. We're looking for that in 2 weeks, maybe, providing they can make it happen. So that's what I would like to do next Wednesday again. Keystone lineups coming at you. Hopefully Kendra's back with us, and et cetera, et cetera. And anybody that's got updates, let us know, and we'll start getting them out there. With the Snyder County truck and tractor pullers, I told them I'm going to be sending them a link every week. So if they got something, they can just come in, talk, and go about their business. So that's how we're going to do it. Like, subscribe, share, hit that thumbs up. It keeps YouTube happy. So till next Wednesday, when I'm done running my mouth, I'll get over here and get everything shut down here. This is the hardest part of the whole thing.
Adios, everybody. See you on the next one.
On the next one, absolutely. Again, Wednesday, 8 p.m. next week. You two stick around. I'll be right with you.